America is on the verge of an unprecedented economic collapse, and that is no news. With over 40 million Americans filing for unemployment up until now, while many businesses are still filing for bankruptcy, the ones that are still standing are trying to delay what it seems to be their inevitable fate by downsizing some sectors of their companies and temporarily laying off their staff. However, some insightful experts have been warning that an alarming number of these workers may not come back to their job posts ever again. According to a survey done by the Becker Friedman Institute for Economics, approximately 42% of recent layoffs will result in permanent job loss. That is to say, in actual figures, 13 million workers that were temporarily discharged probably won't make it back to the job market as soon as they predicted. In addition, the study shows that for every 10 jobs lost in consequence of the sanitary crisis, only 3 new ones are being created during this reallocation shock. While the market tries to adjust to the new normal, the public is still suffering from the effects of supply chain disruptions and the frightening uncertainty of the future. On the other hand, most preppers manage their way out of the troubles caused by the recent shortages of cleaning products, meats, and produce. By creating an efficient stockpile and articulating a well-based mindset, many preppers were able to find some structure during these challenging times. By contrast, not every one of them had the opportunity to prepare for the disaster, as unsettling as the one we're in with years in advance, especially the new preppers and the ones that couldn't imagine that they would lose their main source of income so abruptly. With that in mind, we gathered 10 positive, easy, and of course low-cost steps to assist you to get back on your feet and get adapted to this new reality. 1. Communicate. If you haven't already checked in with your previous employer, maybe you should do it without any further delay so you can find out if they intend to hire you back instead of waiting to hear their decision in the future, because the outcome may not be what you've been expecting, and there's no point in waiting to hear bad news. In that way, if they do intend to have you back at your post, you'll know when and in what terms. And if they don't, you can reorganize yourself and your priorities now to deal with the challenges you'll have to face from that point on. Don't forget to keep your head in the right place, be courteous, be grateful. Maintaining an amicable relationship with your former employers shows professionalism and will help you to stay connected with the network you've created in your previous work environment. Even though you may not find an opening at the same company, it doesn't mean your work will not be appreciated elsewhere. With the right connections, you can get another job more easily, which leads us to the second tip. 2. Network. Try to maintain a liaison with your former clients and former workmates. Update your resume and your LinkedIn profile, and if possible, reach out using social media to catch up about how they're navigating through this storm. It can be a very helpful step in which you can get tips and be in touch with people that could potentially be interested in your line of work. You may get insightful ideas and get new propositions for other projects. 3. Learn new skills. Alternatively, if your line of work is being deeply affected by the current outbreak and finding a job in your area of expertise had become nearly impossible, it's still not the end of it for you. There are infinite skills you can learn for free on the internet. Lots of online platforms are offering free courses or greatly reduced course content. You can take advantage of this unintentional time off to improve your skill set. Maybe give it a go to the projects you've always wanted to do but never had any time to dedicate for them before. Anyway, if you're out of ideas of what may be profitable for you, we have some suggestions that can help. 1. Coding. It's probably one of the most valuable skills to learn in our modern era. There are self-paced online courses for you to start practicing at your own speed. There will always be companies looking for professionals in this area, and the salary tends to be very attractive, especially if you're motivated to learn how to operate certain applications. Code Academy is providing scholarships for students directly affected by the health crisis, guiding users to learn the coding skills needed for the market's most trendy specific careers. You can also find reliable content at Coursera, Udemy, edX, GitHub, Codecamp, and Khan Academy. 2. Junk silver and copper. Collecting coins can turn out to be a very lucrative hobby. American quarters, dimes, and half dollars used to contain 90% silver and 10% copper until 1965. Right now, old copper pennies are worth more than double their original value. You can either resell your acquired coins with a profit margin or learn how to extract these materials from them in order to transform them, or keep it as a trade currency. Considering that cash is losing its value and digital money seems to be the next step for currencies, the value of metals is expected to grow remarkably over the next few years. 3. Home repairs. This one is definitely the most handy of all skills. People are always in need of home repairs. Learning how to build and how to fix things is also very useful at your own household and of course for your own pocket. There are numerous YouTube channels with detailed tutorials for you to expand your knowledge. Auto repair, carpentry, plumbing, and electronic repairs, just some of the hundreds of abilities you can find at the platform. 4. Grow your own food. To become more independent from food supply chains, many preppers grow their own food. If you have space, you can set up a garden, plant the most essential foods for you and your family. Remember that you should save around 200 square feet of garden space per person in your family. Make sure to consider that some crops require more space than others. For instance, squashes, Brussels sprouts, and asparagus. Like so, you can adjust the size of your crops according to your needs. If you don't have much space, there are also other options such as bucket gardening, which allows you to grow many varieties of food in your apartment as well. As an extra, if you're a fan of fresh eggs, milk, and cheese, you can learn more about raising animals too. 5. Plan your meals to save more money. It's known that prior to the sanitary outbreak, a great number of American families weren't used to prepare home-cooked meals regularly. Because of their busy schedules, home cooking has been pushed aside to give place to takeout, frozen meals, and regular visits to fast food chains and restaurants. However, our current situation has reshaped the way we relate to food and also outlined the costs of it, since shortages are boosting prices like never before, and a simple trip to the grocery store may now compromise our health and our safety. That's why planning your meals is so important. If you already know what you want, you can limit the time you spend outside and save a good deal of money. Before you go out, you must check your stock and write a list of the items that you need so you can save time and avoid impulse shopping. You can also replace name brand items to store brand equivalents. Pay attention to the fresh items on sale and invest in inexpensive but high nutrient items such as grains, oats, and beans. 6. Keep your health on track. It isn't easy to stay positive in periods when everything seems to be collapsing, particularly if you have lost your job suddenly. Now you have to deal with what sometimes can be a chaotic confinement amongst family members. It's even more complicated if you have kids and no longer have means to provide for your family. But it is extremely important to manage your stress levels and to maintain healthy habits to avoid sinking into this unfortunate situation, to preserve both your mental and physical balance. Although getting out may not be an option for some people, you can try to exercise at home. There are many apps that can help you to keep on track, and 15 minutes a day can be better than succumbing to a sedentary lifestyle. When we lose the connection between body and mind, we're more likely to develop depressive disorders, which can lead us to compromise our immune systems too. Exercising, even for a short period every day, will boost your mood, help lower your blood pressure, and keep your health on track. Additionally, for at least the time being, substituting an expensive gym membership for app-guided exercises is a much more convenient and cheaper option. 7. Revise your budget. On the same note, take some time to examine what services and expenses you no longer need and you can live without, such as cable TV, multiple phone accounts, streaming services, and other subscriptions that may not be essential or could be put on hold while you restructure yourself. Maybe that second car won't be needed that much now when home office jobs are increasingly rising. 8. Look for free stuff and trade stuff you don't need. As natural thrifters, preppers are very aware that you don't need to spend money when you can find nice things for free on Craigslist and freecycle.org. Furniture, clothes, electronics, you name it. You can restore what you find and resell it to make a profit from it. You can also trade some of your valuable items to other goods and services that you may need. 9. Reinvent your career. Despite the fact that losing your job is a very disconcerting event for your lifestyle, sometimes it can be the opportunity you need to shift your career into other fields you've always wanted to explore, but never had the opportunity to do so. Learning a new skill and applying it into a part-time job to figure it out if it is something you would like to do in the long run can reshape your life and actually make you feel happier and more fulfilled. So don't think that it's all over for you. It can be a new kickstart. 10. Learn from the experience of others. Keeping friends around you and a valuable network of professional connections can be very constructive for your process. There's always something new to learn, other universes to explore, and helpful advice to boost your confidence and strength. But even if you don't necessarily have these relationships in your life at the moment, you can learn lessons and gain wisdom by reading what others have to say to help you expand your perspectives. There are countless self-help books to assist you to stay afloat during these difficult times. For instance, the 1926 classic, The Richest Man in Babylon, by George Clason, that uses parables to teach timeless financial advice. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, which offers spot-on suggestions on how to improve your life regardless of the circumstances. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, an atemporal piece filled with priceless lessons. The motivational speaker Tony Robbins may support you with his Awaken the Giant Within, how to take immediate control of your mental, emotional, physical, and financial destiny. John Maxwell asserted on his Failing Forward, turning mistakes into stepping stones for success. Maxwell says, I want to help you learn how to confidently look the prospect of failure in the eye and move forward anyway. Because in life, the question is not if you will have problems, but how you are going to deal with them. Stop failing backwards and start failing forward. Likewise, the relevance of the Depression-era classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People, stays fresh up to this point. And the ageless What Color Is Your Parachute by Richard N. Bull provides indispensable insights for the job seeker no matter the situation. With all that said, we hope to have helped you to raise your hopes that all is not lost yet. We know that this first half of 2020 has brought many hardships for our lives, and the future still seems foggy and confusing. But as preppers do say, we hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst.